There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We searching for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. Blessing our time and our efforts are rest. The brothers giving us here and the promise from there. The work of my life without fear.
I live for
Master.
Clay Paris, who make you again Sktv-Lib. C'est ma chenille, tina ke ase ma yamu. Engi sano muni, emu aye yo. Engi lofa mui, emu aye yo.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
Ena dine ya tumale, ena salia ya tumale, ena kwanagli ya tumale, ena kodubwa ya tumale, ena dine ya tumale, ena salia ya tumale, ena kwanagli ya tumale, ena kodubwa ya tumale, ena napagi ya tumale, Sktv, ena napagi ya tosi wako ma ya tumale,
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We searching for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. The blessing our time and our efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving are real and there are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We searching for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. The blessing our time and our efforts are rest. The brothers giving us here and the promise from there. The work of my life without fear.
I live for
Master.
Clay Paris, who make you again Sktv-Lib. C'est ma chenille, tina ke ase ma yamu. Engi sano muni, emu aye yo. Engi lofa mui, emu aye yo.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
ena dine ya tumale, ena salia ya tumale, ena kwanagli ya tumale, ena kodubwa ya tumale, ena dine ya tumale, ena salia ya tumale, ena kwanagli ya tumale, ena kodubwa ya tumale, ena napagi ya tumale, Sktv, ena napagi ya tosi wako ma ya tumale,
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We searching for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. The blessing our time and our efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving are real and the promise from best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside, River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Kidman, Montserrat, San to Bacalu, from Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
Indeed, Sktv is the best in Liberia. What you want me to say, you know? Look, it's good to people. Those of you who are musicians, you know, there are some sound, there are something that you do behind the scene, you know, to get yourself these kind of voices and so forth. But thank God that at least some of us, we have the golden voice, to sing. Yeah, we were single. And look, the time will come that we'll be singing for our beloved country. The sweet land of liberty. The sweet land of liberty. The liberty is been shared among a few people. Hey, look, anytime when you hear people talking about free, yeah, this country is interesting. It's interesting to understand that the few of people who know how to cajole the people's mind and what to do, what not to do, they are the one control everything. But again, folks, good evening and welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Sktv show. For a matter of fact, today is the 14th of October, the 10th month, and the year remains the same, 2025. We have a few more days to go in this year, and for a matter of fact, a few more days, then we'll be entering 2026. You have to be God. Nothing we are paid is free of charge. For you to wake up in the morning, it's free of charge. We're not paying anything. So some of you, when you complain to God, then I don't know what you really want, but every day we wake up is free of charge. So first, let's share the show. Today the show will be interesting. Today, all our talking today will circle around the issue of mind and power course and so forth. We will talk other national issues. We will talk some of the issues, in the country, the political parties, and but hopefully maybe tomorrow we hope to talk about. Yeah, tomorrow we'll talk about one of the political parties. But for today, it's just about all of the issues, all of the happening. But the major one is the issue of insult. The way, I don't know from which level now are we reached to now? Are we to level what? Those of you, is that the 400 well, let me share the show, people. Today is Tuesday, will be interesting. Yeah, that's why, they say when you train up a child, oh, the Bible is so sweet. Train up a child in the way. So I don't know whether we were trained by our parents, whether we were trained by our forefathers, our mothers, our people who are holding us by them. Whether that is there a kind of training that they put in us today that we are insulting one another? If we don't have anything to say against you, the best way to go is to insult you. That's what we can do. But we will talk. People, let's share the show first. I know socially, our brother, the man in Guinea, the man who say having issue with his what you may call it. Guess what though? Look, I can't wait for Steve to be here on Thursday. The guy was brave to confess. The people told him to confess. They said, man, you have to confess that the only way that the medicine will work. The man in Guinea. So the man confessed that indeed it's true that he have some friendship with nearly 3 women in the scene. So made him brave. In the same house, that boy is hidden. So who having issues with his how you may call it. So the guy in Guinea, they doing work. So they told him to confess. Tell the truth. When we say this thing, that the truth just set you free. Some of you are taking it for a joke. So the traditional people there, they told him to confess and tell the truth. So the man said that's true. I have something to do with the 2 brothers' wives. He said he has something allegedly though. He said he has something to do with the 2 brothers, their wives. Then in fact they may add additional person to make it 3. Oh God. I will keep saying. Most of you women who want to play jealousy all the time, because of that you want to leave your man. That's just a waste of time. Complete waste of energy and time, because the rain fall everywhere. Just imagine that man was brave enough to say that yes, indeed, in the same house, they have something to do with 3 people there. That's why these 2 brothers, they decided to know, when we say we won't harm the man here, it will be bad for us, and we may not enjoy our lives. So the best thing we will do is let us carry him somewhere so that they can do something to him. I waited for the church. Robert, Thursday the show will be hot. For 1 year, so I can't talk. He can't. So you're talking like that. But I'm waiting for the chairman to come. The meant to do is stay the same. But maybe before the weekend, I think the tradition people, they will make sure that it come to normality. That means it'll be okay. Everything will be okay. And yes, Monk, I thought I was saying anything. I coming. Yeah. So everything will be okay right away. But actually, it's very terrible. But let me ask Monk a own view on that. Because someone 83, you're one, in the same headquarters, it ain't even different headquarters. But the men to get mine, oh, Jesus. Yeah, man. So many get mine. There are people in this life that have serious, they have mind enough. Yes, indeed, they have mind. Yeah. Yeah, they have mind, because of some, people break. Let me tell you, a man do with number one, he deal with number two, he deal with number three. So the two brothers said, no, we'll sit down here, they men will tell the whole community. They like interesting. They made a lot of ball, but more will so join us, then more will tell us his side of his story. But today we'll talk about the speaker was brave enough too. That's what we're going to do. That one way you gotta get us, hey, you feel you rude, myself too. Oh yeah, look. Now you know now the type of country you have, you will know exactly where you're heading as a society. The reason why the society is looking this form or this way, you will know, some of you, very, very soon. The same way the man with the issue. The people usually say, in the Bible, the woman with the issue. Now it's the man with the Look, Monk is here. Monk, my brother, good evening and welcome. The man with the issue.
What's up? What's going on, guys? Another day. At least I'm available this week. I don't know if I could do all week. I'm not guaranteed, but I guess I will do my best to see how many days I can squeeze out of the rest of the week to be here.
Yeah. I thank God, and in fact, that it's good that you will even be available for this week. In fact, especially starting from this day today, where we seeing people who rule by their friend, the other one who rule, and we'll discuss all these things today. But Mom, let's move with the social aspect first.
No, we'll do the social aspect on Thursday because we are already.
I know, but I'll check some more at least. But because the man confess with Mom,
we'll handle that on Thursday. The chairman will be here, and we'll go in detail with 16 minutes past the hour, or we can get the show running. But I want to chime in with something because two major events happened yesterday. And for me, I like to follow international issue because you know exactly what's going on. You can see the trend. You don't always want to limit things to your country. Yesterday, something happened in the world of soccer, but it got other implications, even though it happened in soccer, but it tells you a lot about the power of the diaspora and about innovation, how you can come about ideas. Yesterday, the small archipelago, an island country, or Cape Verde, they booked their ticket for the World Cup, and everybody was celebrating because it was like a shock. There are only 590,000 people that live in Cape Verde. They are a country that is formed by a group of smaller islands they call archipelago, and they are the second smallest country in the world to qualify for World Cup since Iceland. Iceland gets 300 some more thousand. Cape Verde gets 590,000. Cape Verde doesn't have a great soccer program domestically, but they came up with a smart idea. Everybody was celebrating, but they didn't know what led to that. They bring behind that particular World Cup qualification. And guess who they knocked out in the process? The great indomitable lion of Cameroon, a country that have been going to the World Cup since 1982. I don't think they have missed World Cup in my lifetime. Cameroon always found a way to qualify for World Cup. But Cape Verde did something yesterday that the whole world never saw coming. You know what the people from Cape Verde did? They went outside of Cape Verde and started looking for kids or young talent that were playing, that were born to parents from Cape Verde, even though they live in different parts of the world. Some of them in Spain, some of them in Portugal and other countries in Europe. They recruited them and brought them on the national team, and they started this program because people thought it just happened yesterday. That's why I keep telling you, when you put the right people in power with the right idea, you will get success. Success is predictable, even though it was in soccer, but you can transfer that ideology to other aspects of life. So, like I said, nobody saw it coming yesterday. And this thing was a program that has been almost like 10 years in the making. And guess what? For the first time in history, after 70 years of independence, Cape Verde was able to qualify for the World Cup. It was miraculous. Like I said, the whole world never saw it coming, and they were able to knock out one of Africa's giants. That's one. The second major issue that happened yesterday was a military takeover from Madagascar. Generation Z, I told you this generation will pose a lot of problems for the world because they are a social media generation. And we live in a consumerized world. Consumerized world get me materialistic world, wherein everybody wants something better. When you see your country doing better and you look at your country and nothing is happening, it puts your country at risk, most especially for the young people. One thing that I've always said on this show, the young people have the most to lose in Liberia because they are the one with the longest time to spend on this planet. Because if the country is damaged, no other generation will pay the biggest price than the young people. If you are between the ages of 20 to 30, you are the one with the longest time to spend on this planet. So think about your suffering. You suffering for 30, 40 years of your life. You know, and when it comes to a political uprising, when the country is mad, that little thing can spark big problem. You know how the protest started in Madagascar? It was all about power outage and water supply, right? It looked very common to you. It doesn't make sense. But because the anger was already brewing, the young people believe that since this military government came to, or this guy came to power by means of a coup, he been engaged into corruption, bad governance, and the lack of basic services. So they used the lack of running water and electricity as a pretext. But the idea behind the protest was bad governance, corruption, and the lack of basic services. But guess what? They started protest. And the funny thing about Madagascar was, you know what happened? The same elite forces that brought this president to power, they call him Andre Rajolina. He flew, and the French president, they say he flew on the French military aircraft, but the French president denied that. He can't give, or he cannot confirm that. But we know what's up. It's a French colony, so we know they took him out. But here's the thing. The president was depending on the military. But the military themselves, they are on a pay. And guess what? They were the one that led the protest. Look, remember, we are witnessing history every day. Even though...
Look, Mark, they're the part of the entire situation in Madagascar that myself, even up to now, I don't even understand what really happened. And Mark, there's no bloodshed. Like, well, sometimes when this kind of situation happens, you will see that maybe the military, they will be divided. You will see the commanding general on the other side, the other captain on the other side. But I think they were united in that thing because of the common good of the society or the country. But for us, more when this kind of thing happen, the first thing that comes to our mind is trouble.
You gotta pick us up.
Thank you.
Now, since we've been on this show in recent memory, right? It happened in 3 countries. We saw it in Kenya, wherein they forced the government to come to the bargaining table and the young people got what they wanted. Well, we saw it in Nepal. They checked the entire government out. Now it's Madagascar. Look, let me tell you something. That's what they call global trend. When people are disenchanted, when they are disenfranchised, most especially young people, they won't sit there and play politics because they know the repercussion. That when the country is not doing better, they know what will happen to them in the future. In the case of Liberia, it's the total opposite. The people who have been victimized, they are yet to understand. I'm not saying you got to carry on a protest or topple the government, but you need to take some tough stance in the country by putting the government under pressure to deliver. The one thing the government never saw coming in Madagascar was the military. They thought the military was on the side, but guess what? We talk about this same being honor pay and honor employed. You carry gun, you in army uniform, you are not making enough to take care of you. One of the guys said his salary is barely less $90 US dollar. Can you imagine a military man making less than $90 in the country?
And that man seeing all of the happening, man seeing the government officials living better life, even the children of the government officials, they were watching these things. But the man child home, not even in school. Look,
so the funny thing. The military took over, right? So the uptake here is the military was the one that seized power. But what the military did was they used the young people. The young people instigated the protest, then the military facilitated the protest. Because the government are going to use force, thinking that the military are going to be the one to play defense for them. But in the case of Malakala, the guys, the military guys, look at the fool. We were using young kids, they put them on the street, they started a protest, then who came in and finished the job? The military. So now the president is out. They are suspended every constitutional or institution in the country, a total military rule until they can decide the way forward. So I just thought I hit those 2 points before we can get onto the show in domestic politics.
No, but Mark, that will also lead us to our major discussion, because everything that we are getting back home here is all about insults. Even if you ask questions, people will insult you. Your leadership, they don't give you any good thing in return. Nothing more, nothing that they are giving to you. Can you imagine, Mark? Even in the parliament, if you will be able to see your colleagues benefit their salaries and so forth, then Mark, do you think what are you really thinking about getting in return? Are you not instigating violence? Because
it's a constitutional violation, because the elected official, he was elected, right? That's what we call it, presidential and representative kind of an election, right? That's the same constitutional democracy. That's why I keep telling you guys, when you look at Africa, when you look at most of the African countries, the structure that are in place, democracy cannot work in Africa. We don't have the institution to support democracy 100%. Democracy is nothing but a facade. It's only on paper. Even in the country that claim to practice democracy, when you witness it and you really zoom in how they operate here, that whole thing about democracy is mostly a myth. That's a lie. That's what
it's fake. It's fake, Mo. It don't work.
You look at a man that was voted upon, right? You think that because of his position on issue. And I heard the exchange between the speaker and Yeke Koluba saying that you cannot criticize the body also of their session. Isn't that a form of repression or censoring of free speech? You telling me that because a man is a lawmaker, he cannot criticize the body also of session. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Almost like the Supreme Court chief saying that normal doesn't apply. I'm like, what are you talking about? We are talking about freedom of speech, an inalienable right that you are given by God, not even by government, because I will call it inalienable right. It has nothing to do with politics. And you are telling me because a lawmaker who happens to be Yeke Koluba calling you a criminal or rogue, that you guys are a disgrace to La Brimpo, because all you are doing, you are only enriching yourself and stealing from people. And you telling me that you are going to deny him of his district development fund and other proceeds so to go to the district, failing to realize that this man is an elected official just like the president. Look, that country, my brother, I don't know how to say it, my brother. It's a whole different place.
And Mark, I think we are in a serious serious problem, a serious situation. And I don't even know how many years from now on, because Mark, even the young people, they brainwash the young people, they cajole the mind of the young people to, in fact, they even divide the young people. That's the first thing. Now, what you're talking about that happened in Nepal, in Madagascar, and so forth, right? I think that these young people, they decided and said, no. Political party, like for example, today, ruling party chairman, so he's talking about job creation, talking about how to make life better for the young people. The United Party will be doing fundraising. In fact, we will really come for 200 years. Monk. What? So your own is how for people to just stay in line to vote.
Yep.
So that you can rule country for 200 years. That's your tactics, or maybe that's your own way of thinking. But you are not thinking about bettering the life of the young people. How many young people today that have something tangible to do without duress, without intimidations, without insults, without contact, without people being holding their hands maybe to carry them places? How many young people? How many young people have all the best of opportunity, even to where the lawmakers were residing? Those ones that were called the actually may call them, no, I'm the majority black or so forth. They feel this. That place name was up also in the news. How they call this place? To where they were residing. That the place there, all their employees for more than 3 to 4 months. We hold the Farmington or whatsoever they were? No, they're not Farmington. I think I got some kind of name. I know RLJ, right?
RLJ, yeah. RLJ room, I know 186 or 188 or some kind of room number they were in. I can't remember, yeah.
So when you have the kind of people who quote unquote that they are making decisions for you, and to that area, you have a lot of young people who also work there, who have their family members, who have their wives, who have their husbands that work to the area. But you say that you are leaders for them. You were there for nearly 2 to 3 months. You left from there. The people haven't been taking pay. No money. So when you deal with all of the time you were there, so you still owing the people, these are kind of people. Look, Monk, this country of ours, let me just say this on the radio, maybe our people, but it's tense. Even to the extent that you see now, they're not trying to mine and power costs. Nothing else anymore.
Like we said yesterday, it's all about insult. Nobody can discuss anything tangible because the politicians understand. You see, the country that are rising up, especially the young people, you got to first analyze how conscientized they are. You know, young people were never engaged into politics decades ago, but because of the social media and because of the new economic narrative that people are being impacted, and young people are getting mostly engaged. And the moment you get more young people engaged, you can expect more trouble for government because young people won't resort. They are seeing the internet, they are seeing other countries. You know, we never knew how to develop other countries where, because by then to know how to develop a country was to what? Travel there, right? These days, you can sit on your computer or on your phone and see all the development happening around the world. Countries that are making progress, how people are making astronomical leap in terms of their social status or their economic status. Now, every young person wants that lifestyle too, but they fail to realize that lifestyle, it takes years of planning, or it takes years of investment to elevate a country. But guess what? They want result and they want it now. So all the young people, they are the one causing trouble. In the case of Labrador, no, don't expect that. Because first of all, they are not conjunctives. First of all, our society is mostly tribal, it's mostly sectarian, it's on party line. So the idea that because these things happening, whether it's Madagascar or Nepal or Kenya or even in Puerto Rico and other places, no, I don't expect that to happen in the case of Liberia, because Liberia is a whole different animal. So I don't expect that to happen. Yep, that's the difference.
So that means we will continue to be in this situation maybe forever so long, because guess what, Mark? Sometimes some of our politicians or in fact our leaders, like for example, yesterday, I think that was yesterday or day before yesterday, I saw photos or video were trending about the Chinese people starting about the overpass or the overhead bridge. Now, you want us, the entire country, to be jumping up and down. So what happened to the leeward counties? Those people who are struggling for even common bridge, that they can't even get common bridge to even connect them to bring their life at least to a little better path, that they will say, yes, let's be able to maybe to cross over, to go to the other side of the forest and be able to harvest. No way for them. They are throwing things on their head. But when you come out today, you want us to be jubilating just because you are building something that's going to be done almost 50 to 100 plus years.
You know, that's the mentality, because they are doing it to fit the narrative of the voter's expectation. And one thing during the interview of Mr. Cummings had with Stanton, he said something profound in that interview, and that was just he said it almost like we don't have standard. Our standard is so low. And like mediocrity is like part of our culture. Look, an overpass is not a bad thing. But guess what the government or previous government been engaged in? They believe that when they take on the pet project with no structure that cannot impact people's life in any way, shape, or form, they just want to put little project on the scoreboard so they can say we can use it to get re-elected. So they're not looking at in terms of policy, because I know when government talk about policy, let's say you increase teacher salary, whether you in Vonderman or you in Bonkan, it affects everybody. That's a national policy, right? It's not only increasing wages, it also increases the economic incentive there in terms of
Mark.
Okay, that's one. Let's say you decide to upgrade all the medical facility in all 15 counties. That's policy. But when you go and build one overpass here, you build one lip or park PHP, you build one hospital in Babalu. These things, yes, they are not national development, because it's not coordinated, it's not impacting other part of the country. Let me ask you, if you are to build an overpass, like I said, an overpass is not a bad thing. But every time a government passes a policy or to implement a particular legislation, the idea is to impact everybody on a grand scale. That's why government come with idea. Like when you go back to the 70s, whether it's for the Green Revolution, Mato Magazine, these were policies that people could feel in every part of the country. But right now, because of mediocrity, because of no standard, they believe that the littlest thing will give them that popularity for them to stay in power. So that's why you can see a president cutting hand pump ribbon. Nowhere in the world.
Now, for example, they go play LEC poll, maybe somewhere.
That's just it. These little things here and there, then that way, because the people in the country, they believe that. Yeah, the thing, they believe. The vast majority of the people in the country, the youth or the young population, they believe that they don't know anything better. So the littlest thing will look big to them. So they don't need to do that much. And you know, that's why everybody want the spotlight. Everybody on Facebook. I saw your Ali Cohen say your LBS director passing you around with.
Oh yeah, they're bluffing. My man,
this is why the country is going to be up to intimidate. Nothing will happen here because the society itself has settled for total mediocrity, and nothing will happen in terms of policy because everybody just want to put points on the board. Let me tell you something. What you guys will do again? That yellow machine thing, they will drag it, maybe closer to election, or maybe you. Then they will bring it because they feel that when people see yellow machine again to election, that's a plus for them. Whether the yellow machine will provide more roads, whether it will improve the economy, no, they don't care. All they know, they're just looking for that little optics that the common man will buy in the street so they can extend their time in power. And that's the sad thing about life. But that's why I say in my lifetime, that bro will not make progress. We're not going anywhere.
Among the thing about it is that it's not just about even the extending of the time or their time and so forth, but even in the future, if care is not taken, like what happened in Nepal, in Madagascar, this thing will likely happen because people will get angry until maybe the majority lose their mind and just say, no, I think we will not sit here and allow all of these things to be happening on our watch. Even though during those days, our parents, they bear this thing just because maybe they feel that they don't want to maybe to allow anything to flow or maybe so on. But we will not allow this thing because more, we are going nowhere. Let me be frank. And the politicians, they are succeeded into everything because mom, what kind of country that you have to get contact before you can be close to your own government that be? What kind of government or what kind of system that you have to get contact for everything, even including your own school? So you have to get contact for everything. Then you think that it's a good thing? You think it's a bad way to go? You think that's the right thing to do? Let me state it. Mom, if you have a better system, like all of the 73 lawmakers who are fighting each other today, because I saw today the speaker threatening another person that in fact you feel rude. So it's just about who be rude.
Yeah, I think it was Tao one way, right? It was Tao one way. I think I heard.
Yeah. Exactly, Tao one way. So about who be rude to him and who not be rude to you. So now tell me, if you have all of these kind of grudges or these kind of things in your heart about your colleague, instead of you thinking about developing the life of your people, no one will be behind. Because
and another thing, I saw the deputy minister or answering question because there is a rumor that they are planning to unseat him. So I was just sitting here and watching the video, like, but there's nothing screen. That's what they've been doing. That's what they will keep doing because it's all about stealing. It's all about money. It's all about being on committee. We just saw it recently. It will always be the House Speaker. It's been a culture now for almost like close to 20 years because it happened to Erin Snow, it happened to Speaker Tyler and Fanatic Kofa. So that particular culture is not going to end either. Like I said, you can predict success, you can predict failure. You can just look at the country and know that the country doesn't have a future. Except you want to be blunt. Except you want to be, I don't know, you talk about hope. Hope is not a strategy, my brother. The fact of the matter, when you look at the country, the people who are in the position of power, because we all cannot go and govern the country. That's why we got elected officials. Most especially the first branch of government, they are our body. The president is an individual, but the first branch of government, they are our body. 103 in total. If these people are not serious, what make you think that Raw will do better? Like I said, we will keep settling for mediocrity. It will remain that way because ourselves.
And that's why the military in Madagascar, those of you who are listening and following us, that's why the The military in Madagascar suspended all of the government functioning and of how you may call it. Because let me be frank, there are a lot of government entities that are just there just for issue of salaries. They have zero impact. Zero impact in the life of our people. Zero. People just take home salaries. Money that's supposed to be there for the people, for the bridges, to connect our people, to connect the people from their farm to their homes. Nothing. No money. You look for money. You place money into the budget. And you take only 4 to 5% of the entire money only for development. The remaining 95% of the money go back for salaries, gasoline, what you may call scratch cards, and so forth. And you come here, you say you come to rescue. How? For me, I don't get more. Is it rescue really rescuing, or they're just because Monk, it is frustrating. And right now, as you can see, I think right now we already started 2029 campaign. Whether you like it or not, from all indications now, it's just glaring that we are not into campaign activities. People are not campaigning how to come back. All of these small road development that some people are doing right now, especially some of the lawmakers, they are all campaigning how to come back to power. You don't care, or in fact, they are even asking you whether your life has improved, whether something has happened into your life for the past 2 years, or maybe for the past 6 years, or maybe for the past 10 years, whether something has happened. No. But all they care about is how to go into elections, how to win elections, and how to come back to power and continue to get money. So, Mark, the young people, is there any hope for the young people?
Well, not even the young people, but the whole country. For the people that are in their 40s and 50s, I can tell you might as well start making your retirement plan somewhere else if you want to, or you got to start transitioning, because I know I don't see your future for that country. I don't want to sound pessimistic, but that's just the reality. If you're pragmatic, you can see things, you know exactly what happened, you cannot bet. It's almost like maybe it's almost like going to the casino, right? You go into the casino, you go and play the slot machine, you know that the odds are against you, and you keep putting money there. Yeah, you might win, but what are the possibility that you end up winning? Same to Liberia, you want high probability. There are things you will see happen in the country. You can say, why you think now a country like Burkina Faso and Ghana and Rwanda and Ethiopia, why you think they are attracting people from the diaspora? Because people can see what's happening, so they know what will be the outcome 10 years from now, 15 years from now. That's why people are flocking there. People will buy that ticket. Can you imagine someone that was born in America, in the Western world, from Europe or Canada or Australia? They can choose to go and live in those African countries because what? They know that it's not perfect there, but they hear the news. They're seeing what happened. They're seeing all the development, all the infrastructure, all the system when it comes to mitigating corruption. All these things are happening. Why make you think people who want to go and live in that country? When was the last time you saw somebody from the diaspora, an American or anyone, African-American in particular, talking about coming to Liberia? When? You ever heard that? You ever heard that a group of African-American plan to move to Liberia? Because they know the news is there. They see, they do research. They research the country. They know that nothing is happening there for you to even think about it. I'm talking about African American, just Liberian alone. How many of us
But the problem here is most of our government officials, if not almost 98% of them, they are living out of the country. Let me be free more. Look, sometimes I sit back and I feel sorry for our people that are being used times with our numbers. Government officials will take their wives, their children, or their family members from here, either send them Ghana, send them Dubai, or send them to America. They come here to hustle. The same way those of you can go red light, you go water side, or maybe you go to the able to go hustle. That's how the guys look. All your government officials, most of them, that's what they do. They send their wives, they send their family out and say, take my children from here, carry them, and nothing good yet. Go, let them go to school in Ghana, go look for good school, carry them to Dubai, carry them to America. They place that don't also go. That's how they see you.
Yes,
Those of you today,
that's the
young people,
mentality, and that's how they
that's
operate.
the
Because they
seed.
know exactly what they are doing. Okay, now that begs the question, right? The people who are making the decision are mostly the one that you are expecting to make the country better. So if they harbor that kind of a mentality that Liberia is just like a fishing ground where you can just come and steal and send your children or your wife, send their wives in other countries that are doing better to give them a better future. What make you think now that you can be optimistic about the future of Liberia when the people who you are counting on to make better decision and better policy to improve the country are already thinking outside of the country? They are buying homes here. They are preparing their children. They are setting their children's future up here to get better and quality education. And you there in Liberia, they're dreaming that they will do better for your life to get better. Make it make sense to me.
And that's a monk. So what they do here, those of you who are joining, so they always into that recycle stuff. They send their children, the children go out there and learn everything, and they pretend that they are doing things for you. All these people, some people go out for 6 months, or maybe two weeks, 1 week, 2 months, scholarship, all these things. Look, I don't even have my head for this kind of thing, because it's just like you are getting this thing. At the end of the day, do they really need you? Ask yourself, do they really need you? What would be your own contribution in society? People go to school. Government sends you to school. Instead of saying government using you for a real purpose. Because I don't get some of the reason why government send or citizens or people to school, and when the people come back home, some of them they become like, in fact, some of them nothing to do. Then you have, for example, B Mountain, you have people there who are also washing car. So you see the kind of insult. You have people to be Mountain who are washing car, but you and the man who washing car to be Mountain, he make it close to almost 1,000 plus. But you that government sent out on scholarship for 6 months, maybe 6 months ago, they bring you back. Where are you today? Nothing to do. So these people, look, we got to stand up. Mark, I want to ask you this question. Someone said, no, my man, no, that's the way. But they can also. But more, here's the question. These people that have been given 9 years, 6 years, and nothing. In fact, they are not even thinking about bettering the life of their people, because 9 years is not a joke that you can better the life of your people. Even in Grand Jada, my own county, so almost like 24 more years now, if the term finished. People have been into the legislature, into the governance cycle for ever so long. But mom, let's go back to the time or the term and so forth. 9 years were given, 6 years, still nothing happened. Look at less than 2 years. The United Party led government right now, they are heavily campaigning now, confused and so forth. Can we reduce all of the time instead of just wasting our lives beyond people for 9 years and 6 years to 4 years and maybe 5 years?
Well, you can, but it takes a considered effort. Everything is political. Everybody got their side. So everything that benefits the country, people won't see it. That's the difference about putting your country over the politics. You can play the politics all you want. There will always be time for politics. But the people, you think the young people that protested in Madagascar, you don't think some of them supported the president? Some of them supported the president, right? More than likely, maybe half of them. But they understood one thing, that if you get bad governance, it doesn't matter whether you support or you're the opposition. We are all on the same team. We are all on the same boat. If you prioritize the country, this thing can only happen when you prioritize the country. In the case of Liberia, like I said, it will never, ever happen. You cannot even have a dialogue now in Liberian politics without insult. The people that are even insulting each other, they're not regular people, but people that are in government. Up to your speaker now. That anytime you criticize the government, got to come with some defense. You know, they get one guy in Liberia that can be running his day in rescue son. He be taking organ and video. So he was so panel. He hold his hand, paying down the so panel. How they should be showing all the things happening. Look at it, man. Or men like you, who should be talking about your future. Somebody can put a little $5 or $10 in your pocket. You think you are doing better because you think you're promoting the government. Look, I want the government to succeed. I want the government to do better. But looking at what you are saying in the past 2 years, can you make the case that they are doing better? No, I don't think so. So when they say a lot has changed, I say no. we are still on the same hamster wheel. Maybe you think that some of us will fall for the little pet project here and there. You can grade on one row here, then that development. No, that's not how we see it. For you, you think that why the people going to buy into that, why they are using him, because some of the things open, they're telling him how he must show this, he must show that. I'm like, okay, keep going. Your friends in other countries are talking about the future. You yet thinking about food you can get. So they're using you now. The PR men will be passing you around, mortgaging your own future, and you think you are doing better.
But Monk, guess what? That fellow that you talk about, they make him enter the king palace.
Oh, yes.
So you see how fake we are? Especially our governance system. That guy should have been given even better lives even before doing that. But because he chose that, now the government or the king open the palace and say,
he just a younger male version of Noah Gotolo. No different. Isn't that why it is?
Exactly.
So that's it. Like I said, in other countries, the young people know what is at stake, that their future hangs in the balance. In the case of Liberia, no. Our own, the clueless, even the one that are older, some of them, most of them are clueless. So the idea that we can get better result in Liberia is wishful thinking, is blind optimism. It will never happen in my lifetime. Because if the people in government, in the hierarchy, up to the president, if they can encourage this thing, then it means they have no intention of making it better. They just want to keep creating enough boss around so that they can stay in power. Because at the end of the day, they can say, oh, more Alipo, couple of parts in rail market improvement.
Yes.
Or, they pay one little overpass over there. That's how they see it. So that the more of the little project, just enough. It's almost like somebody showing you breadcrumbs while they are taking everything. That these little breadcrumbs, it will tend to political capital so that they can stay in power for the longest. That's just the game in Liberia. And the young people, they are yet to get it. And I don't think they will even get it. Ever.
And Monk, we have about 10 more minutes. But Monk, actually, before we go back to the manpower and cost and so forth, all of these things are also trending that people are now coming up to talk about. But Monk, you are right. Do you know that this show on this platform, just because of so many things, this platform has been or placed on the red line, people, into so many government chat rooms. And so even then, this institution, just because this institution say, okay, everybody can come and talk, whether you want to talk about government, the goodness of government, we're not stopping anybody, but just because they want us to come on this platform and sing praise and worship or sing praises to them, which of course, what they are eating, they just stated, what they are getting, what the government is getting per day, per month, per week, per year is 98% of the what Liberians themselves, what they are even getting. So check it out.
Well, technically, what they are praying for is for us to change the way we do business here, the business model of Sktv. They want this sensational politics where you give government credit for doing literally nothing just because of the optics. They want to be out there, they want to be popular. And most of the time we will talk about mostly bread and butter issue, things affecting the country, the future of the country, why it's happening now. So it's not a narrative on Sktv that fits into what the government want to see or being put out there. So Sktv, and the truth event will always be on a collision course with government, except you guys or the management decide to twist the argument and change the narrative. But until then, I'm not going to come here. Like I said, I told Sekou this more than 1,000 times. I don't know what he got planned for Sktv. But I'm not going to leave my business schedule to come here to come tote or sing praises for any useless government. If that's why they will then
why the or someone wasting our own time?
Then why the New York come here? That's the case. They are not.
Of course, I
can't
even do that. Let me be frank. The only thing is, if the government do well, like for example, if the government increase the civil service salary from 150 or from 99 or from 85 to 325. That by the time the government finish doing court, then it will come, maybe it will reach around 310 or 315. I will say yes. That day I will dance for the government and I will sing praise to the government. Even for 1 week, I will do it. If the government decide to say yes, the issue of waste is getting too much that even when people see one government official, they go tell they say, Patrick, one loafer. See people, grown men, Amen. Even if you even welcome somebody, people dancing, people, because they got to do all these things just because they know at the end of the day, there will be a little handshake. So you are reducing people to a certain level just because they don't have it. Just because they don't have it. That's why you are reducing people to a certain level. Someone will come here and I will keep talking government. Do the right thing. The reason why the people voted for you is for you to do the right thing.
I woke up this morning, I saw an article from Front Page Africa. I didn't read it. I just read the headline, the caption, and they said Joseph Boakai is pushing for judicial reform with the Chief Justice. I didn't play the laugh. These are some of the story when we cover in depth, and people think we hate the government. You look at our Chief Justice on camera recently justifying nepotism and corruption, and you want me to believe that he will be the one to usher in judicial reform. You look at our president that violates the constitution like no other I have seen in recent memory because of politics. And you want me to sit here on Sktv and tell the Liberian people over both faces that Joseph Boakai and his administration are interested in judicial reform across the board, that they want accountability and justice. Like, who do I look like? And these are the things, because to the common man, yeah, the president got good intention, he want to do better. No. Don't think I guess already a facade just to get you hooked up. It's not what they intend to do. Because for a president who wants judicial reform, he will respect the law, he will go by the law, he will honor the role as the chief executive. We are talking about nepotism here, a man who appoints his own son. And you want me to believe that he will be the one to trigger a judicial reform across the country? You must be a fool. And some of us, we are just not fool. We are not smart, but we are not dull. That's why I keep saying on this show. You can fall for this nonsense, you can buy into it, but I know the overall objective is not what they want to see happen in the country. They got a twisted mindset, and they are not interested in pushing real change in their country. They are just doing it just to give you an impression that they are working.
And they keep muddying the water, though. They keep muddying the water for the citizens, so that the citizens ask them, so they can see clear. Let me tell you, look, these politicians, they keep muddying the water for you so that you can be able to see them clearly. Look, all Liberians, which sector you find yourself in, which way, what kind of job that you think that you are doing, whether you are educated or not, look, by right, it's supposed to get something done. If you go back to the Decent Work Act of 2015, they talk about those people who are skilled and those who are unskilled. How much they're supposed to be making per month, per day, or per week. Look, this country of ours, we have a lot of laws that our government continue to overload. When they overload meeting, when you want to talk, then even though, other people will want to take sides among just that. But this is not about side. This is about the system that you think that you will build tomorrow. Even if you are no more, your children too will be able to live on that system and even improve more on that system. Even though they will not criticize you, they will not look at you to say, our parents, what they were thinking of. Sometimes these are things that will come.
During the program, maybe I'm not cutting all right. Like I can just feel sorry for my country and these people, most especially the young people over there. The president's statement about the Chief Justice, about how they're trying to carry on the judicial reform, he used two phrases. He said he believed the Chief Justice will modernize the judicial system, and then they will strengthen institutional integrity. Like people can just read words and just get rid of the old man to go out and read. Yeah. You just go say something, because I know when you talk about strengthening institutional integrity, you won't even be on the fence when these things are happening in the country. Because we have seen it every day, the abuse of the executive branch, the abuse of the constitution, people overlapping their function. This is a country where you can pass a budget, and the president, the pro tem, and the speaker can meet in closed door and alter the budget without lawmakers' approval, without the entire body. And you want me to believe that this man who claimed to have 40 plus years of experience would bring the one to bring about institutional integrity? Maybe how the new chief is going to modernize the judicial system. And just recently talking about nepotism, and you were even justifying why he put his son there. Can you imagine that?
Even up to now, Monk, I haven't heard our father, the father of the land, even speaking about our rape issues. But they just sit up and there, they put and read this for our leaders. Look, there were the issue of hijacking power. Monk. The people will stand up to vote for their leaders. They will go into the river trenches. They will go into the river bushes to vote for their leaders, campaign for their leaders. But by the time the leader get into power, the people there, they will hijack. So they already hijack the power. Moving forward, that things will just be like until this 6 years finish. Then we'll go into another 6 years. If we will still be alive, some of us, then, well, that's it. If not, we move and lead our children into the same struggle. Into the same struggle where everything is just upside down. Students are protesting back to back. Even the government-owned school, you have students. Every time students from the government side, they are protesting day and night just because of so many reasons. And the government think that it's normal. They can play politics. They can do anything that they want to do. People can do whatsoever thing that they want to do. That's the best thing to do for them. But Monk, it's bad. It's bad. And they just say that, my dear brother, for me, I already understand our governance system. I know already. That's why sometimes when I see people playing politics, it's sorting. I just look at them and laugh. Look, a president that will transform Liberia, that president, never stated, that president will not be thinking about, oh, government officials getting this, government officials eating the other amount of money, they travel, all these things are waste of time. Why you really have so many travels? To do what? But again, that is society. The president got to get a cut from the budget, and the other people too, they have to get their own.
Yeah, no,
so society.
That's it. And then
you don't have to travel before you can even develop like that. You don't have to. You don't have to.
But the leaders that are committed to improving our country, they don't travel often because they know the problem is domestic, it's not international. When before they travel, they look at the pros and cons, they look at the cost analysis. If they believe that it's a conference that can benefit their country with a high or return, then they can engage in traveling. But you've been traveling since you came to power. You can bring one major investment. Everything is some memorandum of understanding. It's been 2 years. We are about to get into year number 3. We can see the first factory. We can see the first major investor, other than one that already existing. Matter of fact, you wasn't the one that brought in there anyway. They've been operating, signing new contracts. Matter of fact, they cannot even uphold the commitment they made based on the old contract. And this is what will be on again until another 6 years come and go. That's all you can get. They think about Labrador. The only improvement we can make, the only increase with age. Now, the only thing I can talk about Labrador. I think 177 or 78 now, right? 178 or 77. So we are just a few more years away from 200 years, and we'll be in the 2nd century mark. That's the only improvement I've seen so far. Age.
Protesting for their mathematical results after reportedly being withheld by the West African Examination Council Liberia chapter. According to reports, basically you have 2 sets of protesters here, students protesters here. You have the algorithm seniors who are demanding for their mathematical results after being withheld. We also have the present 12 graders who are demanding a new principal after the old principal was transferred to another school. So on this morning, according to reports, basically you have classes were disrupted twice about those schools of students who are demanding their mathematical results after being withheld, reportedly withheld for cohesion. And then you have the present 12 graders as well who are demanding for a new principal after the old principal was transferred to another school. So as it stands, classes have been disrupted. Students are just in the corridors of this building, up and down, and no regular classes here. Students are just outside. Just a few minutes ago, witnessed dozens of students chanting slogans as they moved into the building. We also saw some police officers amongst them. We don't know as to why they are going in there for, but basically the Liberian National Police have deployed some men here right at the intersection. I would say the intersection. They are right before the MCSS office, where you have scores of police officers being deployed. So as it stands, students are not in classes. So we're still waiting the outcome, but just a few minutes you saw some students chanting slogans and mixed some police officers as they enter the building of the Tottenham High School. So you can share this live. I'm Iwaris Himpan reporting along with Aaron Kuban, and we both are here as we're bringing up the happenings here minutes ago. So this is the second occasion classes are being disrupted by these students. So the Algorithm seniors, they are demanding for their mathematics results after being withheld. Some are saying that they want to follow that status, and as it is the regular criteria that you should pass in these two major subjects, which include mathematics and that of English. And they are saying one of the key these are students who are chanting slogans here. So these are students, these are protesting students who are chanting slogans. I do believe that these are the students who are demanding the new principal year after the principal year who was here was trumpet. So I believe these are the students after we got off the poster. So we're now seeing officers making our way out of the, I do believe that's the administrative building here. We're now seeing officers making our way out of the administrative building. Earlier on, dozens of officers were dispatched right before the entrance of the MCSS office right here on 12th Street. And now we're seeing officers leaving the administrative office here on Tottenham High. We don't know what exactly was discussed there, but we're still seeing students here on the sidelines, in conversation. So now you see the officers are coming out of the administrative building. So as these officers are making their way out, you have some students right here who are chanting slogans. Some students are just right behind them chanting slogans as the officers make their way out of the campus of the Tottenham High. So as it stands, things are not normal. As we were told, this is the second time classes have been disrupted by these protesting students. So we are now making our way out. We are now making our way out as we are still here on the campus of the Tottenham High School. So we're now making our way out of the Tottenham High School after we witnessed the arrival of some police officers. So we're making our way out of the Tottenham campus here. Well, so far from what was observed, we have observed basically there has been no the scene of tension where you have the students creating scene of tension here, defying police instructions. We have not seen that. What we have just witnessed here from our own end, the students are just chanting slogans to ensure their plaques are well listened to, but no tension. As it was reported, there was some tension here. Well, I've not really seen that. Yeah, there was a roadblocks set up to call the attention of the public. I do believe, yes, certain roadblocks, according to them, who have called the attention of the public, wanting to know what exactly these students are setting roadblocks. So. Huh? So, so the roadblocks was set, calling the attention of the public, and of which I believe that scene brought in the Liberian National Police, taking it off the road. Where we earlier on saw officers being deployed after roadblocks were set by these protesting students. These officers are not to be seen anymore there. I think they have been told to leave as these students are now using a route that earlier on blocked by the Liberian National Police. So thanks for following. We will rejoin you. From another location at another time.
Yes, folks, we're back. Monk, we're back after the news break. Sorry that we were able to put that on our network, but how be it? I think yes, we have to get our people glued to the happening of the day that protest happened today at the 12th Street Inn from the I think from the Tottenham or high school way there. So yes, indeed, that's what happened today. So yeah, Mom, so we're back. So many things that we're talking about, and I think when you're following, also there are news that in the news that the president vetoed 11 bills and so forth, and so many things. But what's the human there, brother? Before the news break, I guess you were talking or you were saying something. Monk. All right. So it's like Monk is somewhere. Yeah. So I want to say to those of you who just joining, thank you for joining us here for us. If I read it here, when you hear about Think Liberia, Love Liberia, and Build Liberia, we are the one. We want look. We love Liberia. Some of us because we don't have somewhere else to go, or we don't have another second home, or second place to go. If you just listen to the news about Madagascar or the foreign news, yes. So most of our officials, they do these things, they save money outside of yeah, God. No, I'm not saying that you cannot have your little interactions outside, but if you truly love your country, you truly love your home, you truly love your place, I don't think it would be better, or maybe I don't think it would be prudent for you to go out there and save money and have horses, buy horses, and do all of these things with the country money. And you put the people into Aja poverty, like our sister said. You move through. Okay, Mom, so let me read this piece that was posted by our sister Yumunchu Mensa, Asadu Mensa. She said they keep our people hungry and poor. Mama, that's the look, that's a strategy. I'm always saying this. So their strategies is to put our people into Aja poverty. Even if you work, don't take pay. If you work, let your employer, let them have to meet, in fact, let them have full control over you. So that anytime, even if you want to stand up, when they carry your kids to labor, they will come and tell you that, my man, forget it. No job. Job in there, bear it. So that's one thing that they put our people into abject poverty. Make them poor and hungry. So that even when they give them $20, You know how many people today that are running for the people places, going from place to place. All of the government officials, for example, the vice president, people are. It tells you that people are doing nothing. When people visit you on that kind of or level where you got to pay their way, they come to you with promise. Are you with that up? So let me go on quickly. She said, poll, so they can throw them peanuts to vote for them. Yes, that's the strategy. We need a leader who will pay our people living wages. Yeah. And we just pray, Mama, because the labor system for us here is terrible. It's one, no precedent. All of the campaign they've been doing, all of the politicians having here, end of them one day talking about the issue of labor to say, yes, I will restore the hope of our people that even when they take pay, they will not be broke on the same spot. One more. Go ahead, my brother.
Yep. I mean, nothing new. It's the same thing that politicians always want control and power. It's not only in Liberia, it's other part of the world. If you let them to do it, they will run roughshod over you. Even in the great United States, that's why they got some people who believe in socialism, because they know socialism is a government, a form of government that is tested and proven to be a failure throughout human history. But they got people who believe in socialism. They don't let a market-based enterprise or capitalist system. Because one thing, let me tell you something, maybe whenever you can fend for yourself, you become very hard to control. And one thing people love, they're not only looking for money, they are looking for power. Power can give you money, but most people want power. And the only way you can stay in power is to suppress people. Because when people are poor, they don't think long term. That's just basic biology. When you are poor, when you're destitute, you're looking for food, where you eat and that they have to survive. You're not looking 10 years or 15 years. But when you can provide for yourself, you have a stable job, good income. You're thinking about retirement. You're thinking about investment. You're talking about your children's college fund. These are the things. You're not worrying about food or how you get out or healthcare. You already got your lay insurance card in your pocket. Worst case now, you can rush to a hospital. They will treat you on the spot, right? So it's just part of human nature. It's just ingrained in our biology that when people want control, the easier way to have control is to keep people poor and destitute. Because when you are poor, you have no option. You settle for anything. That's why they are telling you now they will be in power for 200 years. Because they know they will keep you poor to the poorest that exactly you won't be able to make progress and you will keep them in power just to get the breadcrumbs. I can remember a few years ago when Sedition 2 were crying on the internet 26-year loading, 34-year loading. I said, no, focus on the job front. When you get the job done, the people themselves. That's what Paul Kagame said. You don't have to campaign if you are doing a right job. They got one almost 97, 98% because he know what he's doing. But in the case of you want to campaign, you want to pour mark on the bowl. You want the little pet project here and there because you are not doing the work. But you think that people are so poor, people are so destitute, people are so dumb and stupid that you can just, you can psychologize them in order to stay in power. That's why you're hearing the party chairman talking about 200 years because they know exactly what they are doing that will keep them in power for 200 years. But we see, you cannot predict the future in some instances, but for them, they believe that they can put 200 years on the scope. So Unity Party literally saying that they're going to be even more than the True Win Party because the True Win Party, I think they were there for 100 plus years. So Unity Party want to beat that margin by making it 200 years.
The only True Win Party that we even know about to be talking because in the kind of morning age and time, even by then when True Win Party were in power more, I think by that time they were, in fact, most of our mothers, in fact, women don't even used to vote.
Oh yeah, in the 50s. Even in America, in the 50s, women all had a chance to vote.
So that's anything so that you don't easily say that way. Before you talk things, you think that no. Years from now on, the life of our people will get more better. Even the young people that will come in the next generation. Look, then people believe in you that you are thinking. Think about China today that you are sending your citizens to go for scholarship here and there. How China? You think these people, you think that matches the play? No. But they were serious. And they started with the issue of saying no to corruption. Because if you have a system that is corrupt, you won't develop. Anytime you have a system that is corrupt, you won't develop. No matter how you want to place it, no matter what you want to do, nothing good that you will achieve because the entire system that is corrupt. So the first thing to put into place is how to stop corruption. Even if you can't even do 100%, but at least you'll be able to go about with that with 80 or 95%. The more you're talking about Porky Gami, that's why you see me every time someone will come here to measure about war, I always call his name. Because do you know what it means to be a former war person? A warlord or a general.
Yep.
Monk. Then today, you put yourself in the life of civilian, but you are still performing.
Yep.
It's pivotal. That means you love your country. But most of you today,
military come with discipline. I keep telling you, the military come with certain discipline. That's why I love the new trend where I see Liberian parents sending their children to the military, because you can be smart in school, you can be the genius all you want. Without discipline, you are not going anywhere. And that's something you are taught in the military. Military people, they got particular time that they got to wake up. They must exercise. They must follow instruction. They know what they call chain of command. They come with certain discipline. So whenever they are in power, society always tend to do better, most especially in the case of Africa. But like I said, the people know what they are doing. That's why you saw students protesting. That's the feature of Liberia. That's why they can tell you they will be in power for 200 years. The people who still be making better decisions, just imagine, let me give you this scenario. We have one of the lowest quality of education in the whole of Africa.
Very poor.
Standard is very poor. You already having a poor standard, and then the vast majority of the time, from the university to the high school, everybody keep protesting. They are all militant. So you can predict that the people you see on camera 20 years from now, they will be worse off. That's how they know. And these people that you see on camera, they will have children maybe the next 10 or 15 years from now. And their children will be worse off than where they are today. So you can look at, I see what Lucas about talking about 200 years, because after every 2 generations are 40 years, so they may finish calculating how long they will. And so they will make sure they will suppress the system. You will get poorer. Your education system will suck. Your healthcare will suck. But at the end of the day, maybe they will stay in power for the longest, because that's what they are counting on. So they are planting the seeds now, right? The disruption, the lack of investment, the corruption, because they know if they keep the system running like this, then more than likely you will go and vote for them. You know, almost like in the healthcare, somebody went in the lab and created a virus, and then he come and give you vaccine to kill the virus. He plays, the same man that created the virus tell you, say he giving you cure. So he giving you a cure for the virus. So that's what they are doing. They are planting the seeds for failure, and then they will come and do just a little project to give you an impression that they are trying to fix the problem, when instead the goal is to make you worse off than where you are today.
And more to even add up to that, every time when the people are given opportunity to speak or to even talk to the young people or to even interact with the young people, there's no better plan. Everything is just about throwing jobs. You know, what kind of country?
Why even the campaign trail? How often do you hear something good on the campaign trail, like, bro, in terms of idea or the president policy? You just go, you get there. Is where you saw a battle cry and chant, right, from students, right? You think that election they're having on campus, even though they are protesting for their own betterment. But what is her? We tired here in fucking clone. Like, bro, it's a deep man.
So sometimes you have to think as to how the other countries are making progress, how they are surviving, before you even send any students out. Because the essence of you sending students out is for them to come back home and contribute and make changes and add the fresh ideas that they will get out there and come. But first of all, the system is corrupt. And more just stated, even for the education, we are managing. But it's seriously down, and it's part of, because look, Mark, I saw this post, or in fact this thing about one student, I think from one of the university, that quote unquote the person supposed to become some kind of president or so forth, and because of the issue of WAS or wire or so forth certificate, so they have to even deny the person. Now, Monk, let me ask you this question. Who control the education system of our land?
The education ministry on the executive branch.
Good. MOE, right?
Yeah.
So, and the issue of WAS. I'm not saying I have issues, but when will even that the issue of WAS document will be like, will stop people from even getting certain things that is going to get Monk. I don't get it. I'm still trying to even understand some of this because of this today. Look, Mom, let me say this to you, right? There are a lot of people today. There are a lot of young people who are smart out there, or who are smart, but just because of the funny test here and there, sometimes when they have their own, maybe their own failure on some of the subjects, and they just decide to just sit down because of the society bullying them.
What are you talking about? You talking about the school, or you talking about the standard or paperwork and whatsoever?
I'm talking about the failing aspect of the test.
Yeah.
Because what next? After maybe the child go out there for the public test, then for example, and maybe they fail or something happen, Monk. What next for that child? Because mind you, Monk, I think you are building a future. You are not there to destroy the future. But sometimes some of the children now, some of the students, for example, they're supposed to be graduating even now as we speak. But some of them, they feel that all hope is gone. Even for someone to even go to colleges or university, they just sit back because of the issue of WAS or WAEC.
Well, I don't know how the system is now, even though I can remember back in the day when I was in Liberia, one time, you got to pass the WAEC, we used to call it WAEC, but then the way AEC, before you can graduate. But the whole idea that is the end of the world, I don't think students should carry that mentality, because test is not a measure of intelligence. That's one thing people fail to realize. They got a lot of people that they are living in poverty today. The regular and average people in classroom, they are the one running corporations and companies, they are wealthy. So the whole idea that just because you didn't pass or standard that test, then it's going to mean the end of your future, I don't know. I don't know the system that is in place right now, but I don't want students having a mentality that, oh, I went for a standard that test, I didn't pass, so for me, it's the end of the world. No, it cannot be the end of the world. It just means that you wasn't good in taking tests. There are so many ways. People learn from observation. Some people learn through apprenticeship. They got hands-on experiences. So for me, I'm not one of those that believe in testing, because I know sometimes in some instances, some of the dumbest people can go and pass a public test, but when you trust them into the world to go and do something in the real world, they won't show up. So I don't want you to see that some standard or some public test is a measure of intelligence or that will determine your success or your failure in life. No, it's just one test. It has nothing to do with your future. It cannot even determine your future. Matter of fact, you can go on to even achieve some better things in life than people that even ace the test. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't put in the effort and study hard to pass the test, but I'm just saying it shouldn't be a benchmark to measure your intelligence or to determine the outcome of your future. No. The whole thing about education, saying that education is a design people's future. Education only gives you a career to go out there and work with a particular area of study that we call discipline. That's why they call it or discipline, which means you were trained with specific skill to execute a particular task. But there are people out there who are inventors, they are innovators, they are good in business, they went out there and did better with their life. While you got people that are educated that are still struggling. So don't use a test to justify or to determine your future, and you cannot beat them on yourself because you didn't pass some WAEC or WAS, as you call it today. So that's my only advice for young people.
Yeah, even though the way you are saying it, the society is not really looking at it in that form and manner, because even the schools, even the Ministry of Education, they have to do better. Because, Mom, like you stated, you're right. Because if you don't do, you will always find some children, in fact, even the too many bullies and so forth are just everywhere that people will want to find out to whether you pass the WAC or the wires or actually may call before graduating. And all of these things, the Ministry of Education, I think you got to come in and find another remedy to all of these things, that even if you fail the test or whether you pass the test or not, there still should be another remedy to that. So that
there should be another solution. There should be a way for children to enter a higher institution of learning, even if they fail. You cannot use one test to determine what happens if they're not good in taking tests. People. Let me give you that. I like to read books. You know, there was this book written by the guy they called New York Times bestseller. They called David Brooks, and one other guy they called Malcolm Gladwell. He's a very prolific writer. David Brooks wrote something they call Social Animal. David Brooks carried on. He talked to some experts. He carried on some experiment in terms of people in terms of academic brilliance. And they noticed that the vast majority of people that went on to do well in life, they were C students. They were not the one that topped the class. Because according to the book Social Animal, There are other skills you must develop, interpersonal skill or intra-communication skill. You got to be someone who can work with people, a team player. There are so many ways you can do better in life than the one IQ measurement, how well you can do on the test. So the government or the education ministry, like you said, they need to come up with another solution that kids can be able to explore into other adventures without passing the WIAC. The WIAC thing is not the end of the world. It's just one thing of that test, and you cannot even use it to measure intelligence. Dull people can pass a public test. Smart people can fail. They all the thing. That's why I say when you look at intelligence is not only calculated once. They get so many different intelligence. Some people got artistic intelligence, they get kinesthetic intelligence, they get academic intelligence, they got social intelligence. So you cannot look at a kid just because they didn't pass the wire and believe that at the end of the world for them they cannot go to college. No, F that. It cannot happen. You got to come our way. You cannot keep stigmatizing people and literally destroy their future right before their very own art based on one standard testing condition. No, it's unacceptable.
Wonderful, Mark. That's exact my point. And thank God I already grabbed the thing. Thank God I already grabbed what I'm trying to say. But again, Mark, because these things been around for ever so long that there are a lot of young people by them, who are thinking about going to various colleges or university, but just because of the kind of situation, some of them, they have been denied and nowhere to wait. For me, I think it's bad. You can't be struggling. You say you want to build a system. You're struggling already from your own network that is here that is terrible. That you want to build a unique education maybe system. And you just want to be failing people or for people to fail so that they can sit down home and have nothing to do. It's bad. Very, very bad. But among another thing before we go to the line.
And just to add on to that, the reason that the education ministry and the government could consider that maybe getting some second option or some requirement, some kind of a program wherein they can go for extra tutoring, maybe come up with some backup test just to improve the outcome. Because even the countries that are doing better in the world today in terms of education, they don't base their condition just on school, on test score.
Hey, Mark.
Japan and the leg of Singapore and Finland, the countries that are doing better. Can you imagine in Finland, children don't start taking academic courses maybe until they are 7 years because they suppose your brain's not even developed. All that you're talking about daycare, children reciting, no, they don't really learn it, they are just reciting because your brain must first be mature to absorb information. And they believe that between the ages of 6 to 7, that's when the brain is at a maximum. That's why you see Finland, I think for the past 18 years, they have dominated the global testing or requirement worldwide. How you think they did it? Because they came up with the idea that you cannot use an education system that's only based on test score. Test is not a measure of intelligence. So that's it.
Right? Because I heard you saying something. I think when you just that one of the best way. I think the Ministry of Education, even if you just enter the college or maybe that university, the best way is while you are there. I think they can even give you another test if they want to do it that way. That would be good.
Also brush up courses.
Thank you. I think that would be good.
Because you didn't pass the WIAC, at least maybe you can spend one semester to make up for those loss, and then you can join the other people later. It will make sense.
Yeah, but you're just stopping people and bullying people, insulting people just because they feel something. I mean, I don't think that's the right way though. Ministry, we just patch you with that, but maybe we'll take one of these days also to really.
Yeah,
you got to change. Right? Yes, you got to change certain things. You can't continue to live in the same old arcade life. They want wire and what, all the kind of things. Look, you got to upgrade.
But Melbourne, even the education ministry and the government policy is even contradicting, right? If the standard is being downgraded, we are not making the necessary investment to improve the outcome of our students. Why make you think they'll go to WIAC and do better?
Okay.
If the domestic system in Liberia is sucks, if you are below the other country, then you cannot expect for the children because the WIAC is standard testing for the whole of West Africa, right? It's almost like you're playing your domestic league and champion league. Okay, you're strong in your league, but then go to the champion league and prove that you are stronger to compete against other people. But if your league is weaker, then you cannot compete in the Champions League because your domestic league is already weak. That's what happened in Liberia.
Simple. So there are some look. Sometimes I forget about WIAC or WAS. Mom, just make in the simplest form. Look, Mom, you know how to go. Please, you gotta be with us all of the time because Mom, these kind of examples are just so easy for our people. So you have your own league.
Yeah,
and you are also in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And more, you just said it because even they're going Champions League or games, and they're beating some people for.
Yeah.
So that means they can play football?
No, they can play. But that's why you got to go and justify that you are stronger. So in the case of Liberia, the government got to measure. If the government is making, if you are paying teachers better, if you improve the curriculum, if you are making the system efficient and the students are not performing, then you can blame them. But in the case, the educational system is weakened, it's being downgraded. Our credit, or we are not accredited as opposed to other regional institutions, then you cannot be putting pressure on the student because it means this domestic or the high school that they are going to, they are not of the highest standard. So you cannot expect them to perform better or worse.
Yeah. So let's go to the line amount to just either with our people, but I think this our last discussion, maybe we'll take one day on that, but because for me, I think they are corrupting the mind of the young people. For me, I think how I'll just describe, because it made no sense. And what they are doing, they have to reverse some of the things and put a better system. But today's call, good evening. Yeah. Yeah, my brother, go ahead.
My name is John Akwan. I come from Kingsville. You know, I enjoy your discussion. All has to do with the picture of Liberia. Especially so when 2029 is coming. But we see other political parties coming out like that. Let me talk specifically about the PMC. Where our mobility says he's doing something different. For the last time, political advisor, one Philip were on the radio and he said they suggested to our mobility that the member of the CNC should be paid due. Ability said no. So what different is he doing things? Because if he alone is there ruling the party, then there's a possibility that he will be the one to make major decisions for the party. Because nobody else is contributing but him alone. Especially so when all the work is being done through his ability foundation. So how different it is. It's good that you are there too. I'm sure you are a member of the CMC.
No, I'm not member. I'm not member of any political party. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. You are very member. But I think you can also discuss that, especially more after you see it. The CMC has so proprietorship. Because if one man is just doing everything for the party, there's a concept that, like Mokomi said the last time, that doing the campaign, the promise is trying to spend something among where there, sometimes they could spend local.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, Mom. We're chipping on that. Today's caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, we're going to do this David King, and I do for you somewhere along the line.
Yeah, go ahead, David.
They want to see our country in trouble. I saw something today on the internet concerning the Unity Party about the whole fundraising program of the headquarters across the country. So you see, if these people who claiming to be rescuers, today they can put back there ask questions. $10 million have been spent. And you listen to the words of the speaker. He said, if you have put down if you see that you rule, I will tell you that myself I rule too. That's the voice of our speaker. So the country where we are now, people, you guys will just talk. You will talk and talk. Nothing will change in it because the breed of people who got in power, more especially the people who call ourselves Kuroku
All right, thank you. I think your line is, yeah. So let's call up, good evening. Yes.
Calling from Barclay.
Yeah, go ahead, my dear.
It is so sorry for the country. What will become of our next generation? Nothing will in the country for those people. I heard that there's a chemical money people using the mercury that can clear everything from the soil. So what will become of our next generation, Maple? They are going because they are not really thinking in that direction. Maple, something serious will happen to the country now.
Well, that's it, my dear. So this okay, keep your calls coming 0770203125. We have our leadership. Sometimes all they concern about is how to get a court. As long as they get a court, is okay. So let's call up, good evening. Yes. Yes, I'm getting you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm selling my car.
That-
You got me the why or why security. I just want to speak with that.
Yeah, go ahead, brother, go ahead. I said yes, go ahead. You are live.
That document alone in the brush, not being through everything to any higher institution. Some people cannot let a university or Liberia. So sometimes they want to attend any technical institution. Then when you go and say, why certificate or why certificate? What is the essence of that?
I think that money making eating the money eating some kind of thing happening somewhere in the whole thing.
I always say that education is not in the salary. Education, you will go with education. When you live in the salary, I always say, I think maybe, more than agree with me in that direction. Some people born with brain. So, the salary, want to go teach it there, but this is what they want to go.
But we have 14 years old. Can you imagine that? And then we have 14 years old children graduating from high school. You know what I mean? So when they want to fail, or maybe why, so they will not go. Oh, God. All right. Thank you, man. I think we'll take one day on this discussion. So let's call up. Good evening. Yes, my brother. Good evening. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for the show. But neighbor, I heard you when your discussion saying that people are giving you rent land. For one reason, therefore, when the issue there, real issue that affected people life in this country, when people are flagging such issue, then somebody will come and give people rent land. Rent land is giving for themselves because you are telling the whole world to know what is affecting us. People keep to power. Telling us that they will do NYC, but the Nigerian people, they are not doing it. People are telling the world, telling them, reminding them of their promises. They are getting you real land. They don't even know the definition. They don't know when to get real land or what means to get real land. Another thing is that not talking about the young people in this country, they have the future. They have more than to live when they start. Yes, it is true, the young people in this country, we are now very wicked supporting development to our leaders. The population of Nigeria, majority of the people that are the young people,
Indeed.
how many young people can really support development to run the country? We will say that and wait after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years before one long company say great pay la free. La pay la free, the community is going to support development. There is one we want to be copy. There is one we want. If you don't do it, you will be forced to do it. There is one we want to support development to our leader, but we will say, we make a kind of rest. That is development there. It's very frustrating with the young people more. Let me tell you, you are very weak. You don't know how to support development to our leaders to make sure they implement it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to this caller. Good evening.
How are you, Mabel?
I'm okay, my dear brother. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so disappointed. I'm Alex MTF calling from Finance Estate. I'm so disappointed in this government on the line of this LTM. Why LTM will give you ticket in another Liberia National Police will take the ticket that they gave you the same day and still park your car and demand money from you and ask you to go the ticket and come back. So when you carry complaint to the National Police or to the report, you say go settle with the man. So frustrating, all over the street, red light, all to the traffic light, the LTM people will just be all in between you, but the election we gave, people in that government official, we're not going to put things in the car or we don't supposed to do this one. When we're out, when you're waiting for green light to come for you to go. So it's so important, let them have specific thing you should do first before you should ticket, but it shouldn't come in the traffic light where the red light will be parking on this car to the foreign car. You should ticket on unnecessary reason.
All right, thank you. I understand what you're trying to say is about the traffic police officer, my dear brother. So let's call up. Good evening.
Good evening to you and good evening to those who follow me the show. My name is Hussein. I'm Hussein Care, what I call from Jacob District 2.
Yeah. Thank you, my brother. Go ahead.
Yes, I listened to the different talking points. My attention is drawn to one of the panelists, the reflection he made. that when people pledge loyalty or wanting to exercise that constitutional right, that God-given right to associate with a political institution or an individual, then it becomes a belly-driven decision. How is that? So there are times people have different allegiance, right? You cannot suggest somebody to supporting.
So let me ask you this question, or who since you only learn today, what the reason for which that you support any politician? Just give us maybe one or two reasons for which that you support or you want to support any politician in your life.
So, one of the reasons I support politicians in my country is due to the actions, and the leadership ability. Take for example, if you're going to ask me what I support the United Party since 2005 as the president.
No, I'm not saying you can join political party. I don't have issue with political party. I'm asking
you.
Yeah,
what inform your decision before you support a politician?
Not
we care about which party you support.
I get off a party.
So I support politicians in Liberia based on the decision, right, and the competencies. In fact, the reasons why I support them, or instead of supporting this person or in President Blackard, is the leadership ability he brings to the leadership of our country. Take an example. In the history of our country, no president, after looking at no president, has taken the path that this president has taken in this country in terms of development.
Which path? Which path? Hello, who's in which path?
You know what?
Yeah, so
you say in what? In development?
Yeah, but can we put it in perspective, right?
No, we're not going to put it into perspective. Let's make it simple so that our people can understand.
Development is relative, correct?
What the fun time to count radio, my
yeah, because you confusing himself. He said nobody can imagine present development, but development is relative. We mean there is no goal for him. He gets talking off.
Charles, go ahead, my brother. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mabel. Let me say good evening to the rest of the panelists. Mabel, our leaders continue to prove to us that leadership-wise, this country is cursed. And you don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that just from their actions and inactions can tell you that leadership-wise Liberia is cursed. And we need to stand strong in order to break this leadership curse that is upon the nation, Mabel.
So, so Charles, Charles Cooper, let me ask you this question, since you are a teacher. Is it a right way for us to proceed years in, years out, the same thing over and over, especially when it comes to the issue of WAEC, WAS, and so forth, students who are smart, sometimes they fail among stated, because you are a teacher though. The issue of people passing WAEC before entering colleges, or if you are university around here, maybe the prerequisite, do you think it's necessary for us as a country?
Maybe I have some perspective on that, but if you can afford me the time, because I've been in planning for 17 years now. And maybe when it comes to WAEC, there are a whole lot of things we need to consider. It's a broad-based topic that we cannot talk on the phone when we are given the time. We'll come and share our own perspective. Because
more likely that fun time during the week to get a brother on, maybe on a Wednesday.
Yeah, what we'll do more.
Then look at even the administration of WAEC. Is it done on a sincere basis? Is it fair? Then look at the manipulation aspect of WAEC. So there are a whole lot of things. Maybe I have said as a product for more than 4 or 5 times for WAEC. So I know maybe I've been in the system, but you can't talk already. As a person, you get
go ahead, my talk politics, forget that thing, but I know already.
We are given the time we talk about small, and I don't shy away to talk the hard truth. Maybe there are a whole lot of things we need to consider when it comes to WAEC. And most of them, maybe the smartest students are not the ones that even pass WAEC. Because we know that there are some manipulation when it comes to the administration of WAEC. We know that for sure. There are some schools that are electrically pay for these tests. We know that.
Can you imagine?
There are some schools that collect flexibility fee just to get flexible grant to be able to help their students to pass. Because when your school does WAEC or passing WAEC, that is a boost, and school has become a business. So everyone wants to promote his own business. So if your school is passing, if one of your students passing WAEC, it helps to promote your school. So there are a whole lot of things that schools do to promote themselves when it comes to imaging in WAEC. So,
all right, thank you, Charles. Or maybe you and other Hussein, one of you can find one day to come on the platform. Yeah, today, call up quickly, agree with me. We'll take one or two more calls and cross over.
There is no president. I have two speakers, and there is no president that ever exists in the Joe Papa who said that you're living alone in that there is no president who for yellow machine to now in the money. There is no ANT. There is no president that have two transport services employed in the Ministry of Transport, and there is no ANT. There is no president that is both equal to Joe Bata who's prosecution
Thank you. Let's move straight to my water that across over to Mark because I'll see what question I've been asked. Yeah, my water, good evening.
Let's see, then I want to shoot tonight. I want to say thank you for this. My son, more was saying something about very terrible. You know, when I look at him for John, those days, they were all red. People would fought for, I know how you're the Indian football, you're saying, I know democracy, we can't do democracy now. People who they can't speak to make themselves. Because we were coming on, the other people used to be in power, some governors, some all was small, but don't rule that time. We saw what was going on in the country. But those who were going on, but I think the money was staying on the CNC. They kind of hardship that one person look at 10 million, very market union, other person look at 50 million, 75 million, they money union everywhere. Then the CNC crying. People get in the street, no work, nothing to do. So all the things they bring all in your country. Joseph Baka not treating me fair, and you're not treating us fair in this country. You're not treating us, you the like people. Here are people that are not treating us fair. Therefore,
thank you. Thank you, my water. We gotta go. We have about 4 more minutes. Mark, yeah, I think we'll back to you. I think what I was asking, I don't know which one the question you can say, remember? Mark. All right, so let me jump quickly. Yeah, okay, Mark, you there?
Oh, I got Seku on the line. I don't know what we didn't talk about. You want me to put you on? So you want to close the show or something?
Yeah. Maybe we want to check you quickly 1 minute, please. Before
all right. Maybe hold on, Seku. I got Seku on the line. Hold on 1 second. Let me put him. Go ahead, Seku. You're live.
So, maybe I don't know whether you guys have finished, but it was just brought to our attention that the Ministry of Public Works now officially start the bridge project that CMC is undertaking in Banga City, one country. So I'm calling on all people of one country, Banga to be specific, to take action against this government that is stopping development from coming to them. Government in, government out, they've all failed to fix that bridge that is stopping the people from moving around in the city. So for a political party to come to make that for the people, and the government is stopping that from happening, that is not against CMC, it's not against our responsibility, that is against the people of one country, which is very unfortunate. I don't want to make sure that the people here will start on it tomorrow. This is very, very unfortunate.
Thank you, Mr. Cannon. Yes. Yeah, Mr. Cannon, right? I just saw that
news. I just hearing that news. I have no
I'm just seeing that in fact the Ministry of Public, people have been posting, but I wanted to go to Ministry of Public Work homepage officially, but that's a communication that we are seeing now already in our possession, that the Ministry of Public Work put hot to the bridge work that is ongoing there in Bond County from the CMC political leader and the engineer and their team. So, Mark, I don't know, but we have a few more minutes to go. But what say you?
Well, it's kind of strange, but it's not new. I think it's something that they happened. Well, like Cape Mount or Babolu concerning some bridge, so it's nothing strange. That's the politics of it. I just heard that from Seku. I didn't follow that today, even though you had the information. We didn't talk about it, but I'm just hearing it. But like you said, tomorrow, I think we'll be able to expand it tomorrow. For me, I don't like to talk about things without details, so we'll see what's
exactly. That's the point where the more you're right. So tomorrow will be the best time for us to take full time.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Connor. Yeah, so mom, we gotta go home. No time already. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we gotta get a mention on the show concerning that whole wire thing and the whole education stuff, and it's something we gotta look into because it's sickening. In as much as I want for students to do well on public tests, they found the matter we cannot use public tests alone, like I said, as a measure of intelligence. Because maybe when you come to school in this country, right, the people know they got a system. They got people who are very visual. They see things they remember. They got people who are into reading and analyzing. That's why you will do homework here, you will do presentation, you will go and do research. They get you partial credit. The test is just one aspect of learning, right? So what happens if you're not good in tests? What happens if you are a hands-on person? Somebody who can analyze, who can accord. That's why in school they can divide the class into two. Your debate on an issue, because that was the olden days way of learning, idea exchange. It's not about just taking notes, memorizing, and going to take tests.
Copying notes from back to back.
Yeah, that's why you see people can get double master and PhD. They can even exercise critical thinking because they other than you just go, you take note, you memorize, you take test, and they say you're good, they get your degree. Now, when you go into the real world, for you to apply knowledge now, to put system and structure together to come up with better decision, you can make it. But even though you pass the test, so we discussed about that.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, my dear brother. On tomorrow, by the grace of God, I think that's good. We'll bring Charles Cooper on. Anytime when you're ready, then you just hit me up. We'll bring you on. You're right, because in fact, Charles Cooper even saying a lot of things though about even the test, what can happen behind the scenes and so forth. And you see the kind of control, you see the control.
But yes, so it means if schools are engaged in because the school is a business, they are in it to make profit, and they know that when they can get you better outcome in the test, then it will increase their enrollment, which means more money for the school. So if the schools are grabbing just to give you better result, then I cannot blame the students that are failing, because it means they are not dumb. They are just not in the system that will kind of push them forward for them to pass in the test.
Now we carry money.
I went to Cali school. I know about them. The Cali people are very good in that as well, and they are one of those that will post better result in Liberia since I have been in Liberia. So
more good night, Joe. Don't bring the people's secret outside. Tomorrow, good night.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We searching for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. Blessing that time and that effort are rest. The brothers giving us here and the promise of them. The work of my life without fear.
I lyrical health.
Master.
Clay body so make you I can't ask it if you been you. Say my journey, tina get I say my jamo. And you no money, and more I yo. And you love
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandmaster.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do boy ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do boy ya to money, and I don't get it now ya to money. That's the baby, and I don't get it now. So she work on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandmaster.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We searching for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. The flesh, that time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving a real and the promise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandpa's and Nima to Lofa, from Riverside to Raji to Chide, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Cape Mount, Monserrat, San to Backwalu, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Maggie B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.